y'all, my name is Price, and welcome back to some more Slime Rancher. How's it going, y'all? Welcome back. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or whatever applies to wherever you are. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's October the 26th, and I'm recording this actually in the evening. Usually I record these in the morning, but today I was working on other stuff this morning, and just kind of was in a different mood, so decided to record a little bit later. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about it. I actually had like a little nap just a little moment ago, and that was nice. It was nice. Every now and then you just need a little midday nap. And yeah, I've just been working on a whole bunch of other stuff, so I kind of was like, I need to take a little break this morning, and we'll get back to it. Today we are going to continue to explore for resources in order to do more decorating. I think I want to try and maybe work on one of these other zones. Last time we did a pretty good amount over in the over in this part of the ranch. I need to learn the names of these. I need to get better at learning these. We did a good job starting over here. I could either focus on this one again, or start adding to here or here. And I'm not sure. We'll see when it comes to what we've got. I've also got all these teleporters that I should start using. Like I said before, I might I might put them between the different zones on the ranch, which, you know, may seem wasteful to some. Honestly, to me, at least in the previous game, there were so many teleporters that you could do it, and you could still have teleporters that take you to pretty much all the important places. That said, I don't know for sure we're going to eventually have those, but I also feel like I'm not struggling for teleporters right now in these other places. Like I might make use of more home portals out here, because that's generally all I'm looking for is a quick way back. To get there, I've already got several portals, and that's enough, I think. Because wherever I come in on my portals, it's fine, in my opinion. So with that said, that's kind of the way that we're going to take this on. Okay, let's go put these in the refinery. And yeah, I'm going to try and think. Sorry, I'm once again, I'm playing half one-handed. I got some messages going on now this weekend. I'm finally getting to go back to a wrestling show. And I'm so excited. It's been a while. Before the pandemic, some of y'all might know, my brother and I and a couple of our friends, including the Brian J. If you know Brian J, you know, he's we did a little Overcooked series over on here. Then we go to these wrestling shows out in Seattle, and it's for this wrestling company called Defy Wrestling. Super cool. I know a lot of y'all out there aren't wrestling fans, but y'all have heard me talk about it before in a previous episode about how it's, you know, soap operas for big kids, soap operas with punches, you know, getting to see it in person, live and in person, it's so much fun. And it's all these kind of indie wrestlers, but a bunch of them are ones that, you know, you've probably seen here or there. If any of y'all are familiar with wrestling right now, if you know about AEW, a lot of the wrestlers that are on there have come through Defy, and I've gotten to see them there, which is pretty rad. Let's go get, I guess, you know, you know what, we're going to sleep. I don't know when the last time we slept was. We're going to sleep. We're going to go look for Jellystone, then Primordial, etc., etc., and then we'll try and make a bunch of decorations. Sleep until morning. Doop-a-doop. All right. Oh my goodness. Beatrix is so cute. Let's just head out. Oh no, the slimes are hungry. You gotta feed the slimes. Give me the old ones. Y'all are taking up space anyways. I love that I've just been able to just use this. I should just turn it into a coop, right? That's probably what I should be doing. Just throw all these guys in here. Okay. So, yeah, let's... Like, I don't hate the idea of just having this be a garden area that I can take food to other parts of the map. Oh, I do need to go pop the pink Gordo and maybe try and get the baddie there, like we've been trying. So that'll be another thing we'll do. So let me go grab some pomegranates and see, do I have another Gordo snare. I can still pop him, but I do not have a Gordo snare, and I know I used all of the like primordial oil and buzzwax and all that stuff last time. Okie dokie. Well, here's y'all's food. And I'll just hold on to these Q-berries and mint mangoes here. Let's go grab... These guys are good. They had food in their feeder. They still have a little bit. Let's put a little bit more in there. That's really what I should be doing. I shouldn't just be launching food into the pens. I should be putting them in auto feeders. That way they'll work better. Okay. Out this way. Still got to figure out what their deal is. You know, are they just a couple buddies? Or do they have like a rivalry? Or like, are they on vacation? Maybe they're on vacation. They're visiting, you know, and they're just like, oh, well, isn't this quaint? Isn't this a cute little place? But Phil, I think we left stuff in the car. No, we didn't leave it in the car. I can't find it. It might be in the car. I think that could be fun. Did you leave it in the slime sea? Oh, I may have left it in the slime sea. Aw, man. Okay, anyway, I'm silly. All right, so we don't have a thing, so I don't need to hold on to a pomegranate. That looks like a low yield. That's weird. I must have just used them. These guys are super cute. I don't know why. I really don't pay enough attention to them. I think probably because they turn invisible. Okay. They're cute, though. Remember, be thinking of names for these. Oh, by the way, the Largo names. We've been doing that a little bit. We're back up to, like, I think we're on the 4th Largo being named as I'm talking about it right now. So go check the polls if you haven't already for the next one. But if you want to know the names that we've gotten to so far, there's the pink cotton Largo is Peeps. We named those Peeps, which I think I told you all about already. Super cute name. I think it totally fits, right? They're like little marshmallowy bunnies. Then we had the phosphor ringtails, and y'all named those the Night Bandits, which I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good because they go out at night, right? They're stoned during the day, but then at night they've got that light and they go out and they do their thieving. So that's pretty cool, I think. What's up, guy? Just sneaking. All right, cool. Then we've got, for the honey angler Largos, we landed on Honey Trap, which I think is a great one. That is a great one. Oh, these are still the wrong plorts. That's why y'all are sitting on all your plorts. I should really do something about that. Did I put a refinery link in here? I think I did. Right? It's like right here? Yeah, okay, cool. So we'll just get rid of all these real quick. So yeah, we got the honey traps for the honey anglers. Super perfect name. Like, that's a perfect name. And right now, as I'm talking, the Boom Baddie Largo is being voted on, and it's a pretty big lead for Hot Wings, which I gotta say, I laughed. When I read Hot Wings, I laughed because it's so perfect and just so... It's just so silly. It's just so silly. They're the Hot Wings. I love it. Okay, we'll do the same thing with this stuff. Might as well clear it out. Got that refinery link. Love having it. Okay, so yeah, do go check that stuff out. Do vote on the Largo names. You know, we're always looking to do that, and we're in that for the long haul, y'all. Okay, so beyond that, part of me wants to talk about some horror-related stuff. You know, I've talked a lot about, like, perception and stuff lately, but right now, my mind is stuck on some horror things. And so, some of it is I actually want to ask y'all some questions, specifically about Five Nights at Freddy's, because I know some of y'all out there are aware of these things, and they're sort of controversial moments, and I can't decide or figure out what is, like, absolute fact, and one is just what people have kind of inferred. So maybe I'll get to that in a little bit as it comes to mind. And maybe I'll talk more about the Magnus Archives. We've been listening to it a little bit more, and man, oh man, I love the Magnus Archives. Oh, you know what? Let's go get some puddle plorts as well. I think I don't come over here enough to get our puddle plorts, but they're definitely useful. Okay. Before that, I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be saying stuff like, oh, hey, if you could, would you please like the video, comment, all that kind of stuff. Like, just do it right now. If you do it right now, it's easier to just do it right now. And that'd be great. And plus, then you don't forget, and, like, I don't forget because it's important. So just type a comment if you can. Just type a comment. We'll come up with another comment later, but type a comment. Okay. Oh, wait, there's the other set. Let's go check those ones. Okie dokie. Oh, wait, where are y'all? There's that pond. There, okay. Just because I know I'm going to need some of these, and I never really take the time to grab them. And I probably need to clear out some puddle slimes from the primordial oil spot out in the Ember Valley. Okay. 20 puddle plorts. That's a pretty good amount. Oh, there's probably one more out there somewhere just because 3, 3, and 3, 3, 3. Where are we at? Oh, yeah. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. All right. Y'all are good. Everyone's good. We're good. Okay, let's head out into the wilds. I guess we're going to quickly go to the Ember Valley so we can pop the Gordo, and we'll grab some primordial and stuff, and then we'll go looking for other things. Because I don't want to forget to pop the Gordo with this stuff I got on me. Okay, so first things first. FNAF fans out there. All right, I know you're not all, so y'all just, hopefully you can listen along and just recognize that I'm just trying to figure some things out. And I know some of y'all are fans, because you've talked about it in the comments. So hopefully you can provide me with some assistance in some of these things. So one of the big issues that I'm running into a little bit, and I know a lot of people in the community run into this issue, is reconciling the end of like the main Five Nights at Freddy's series, so the one that ends with Ultimate Custom Night, and then it moves into VR and AR and all that stuff. I'm having trouble reconciling the idea of Henry's death. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. But I can't decide or figure out, really, and I've been looking everywhere to figure out if it's canon or if it's just inferred. Because to me, it seems like stuff that happens later makes a little less sense if he's not around anymore. So I would really like to know what y'all think about that. Okay, you know what? I'm going to turn you a little bit to make it easier to feed you. So, goodness. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. All right. So yeah, that's a big one. Like, I've been really struggling with that one, and the answer to that is going to be very important for me in terms of figuring out kind of where I take the story. Essentially because, that with all of the different interactions between all the characters, there's some stuff that seems to happen in Security Breach that wouldn't make sense if he wasn't around in some way. Okay. In the same vein, like it really is, a lot of it is this connective tissue, and I want to look into Security Breach and VR and collude those in the version that I tell of this story, but it's really hard because it's so inconsistent. So in that same vein, if you're aware of Five Nights at Freddy's, it's not... Oh, Help Wanted. That's what it's called, the VR one. In that one, there is this character of Glitch Trap, which, if you know, you know, and you know who that character is supposed to be, how? Like, I get that it's like soul in a computer kind of thing, essentially, but, like, how? How did he go from possessing an animatronic to being inside of a computer? And then getting back outside of it. I know it's really confusing, right? People who aren't aware of it, it's really confusing, huh? You're like, wait, what are you talking about? Anyway, those are two big things that for me, I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out. But like I said, I do want to include the newer games because a lot of people don't, because it's kind of a different series, but they still are very connected. And so I think there's a lot there. And I actually do think it actually adds a good amount more to the original story. Okay, anyway, that's all I can think of for now, but I definitely would like to hear y'all's input if you know anything about that. And to those of y'all who aren't Five Nights fans, stand by, okay? Because eventually I hope to make you a fan. Not necessarily of the games themselves, but of the lore that stands behind them, because it's that's what I'm into. That's what got me into the stuff. I honestly don't enjoy the games. But the lore behind it and the kind of piecing it together and not having the full answers, like the quest to figure out what is it, is just a ton of fun. It's just a ton of fun. And so it's this sort of, I've been talking about it over here, of this idea of like collaborative storytelling. It really does feel to me like, whether he intended to or not, Scott Cawthon really tapped into kind of the beauty of collaborative storytelling by not explaining the details, just by giving little like breadcrumbs, essentially. I think it really shows that like it's sort of a less is more mentality, and this is something that goes a lot for horror. So this kind of like falls into the larger horror thing I wanted to talk about. Is this idea of less is more? Like the thing in horror movies that can like ruin a horror movie, that can just take all the wind out of the sails, is like seeing the monster, right? Like fully seeing the monster in the light of day, or having the bad guy explain all of the details, or someone figuring out the exact thing, like, oh, it's this ancient Sumerian demon that possessed him, and on the third night of the seventh day, it always does this, and blah, blah. Like, once you get too nitty-gritty into all the details, it really takes away some of that, like, punch, right? It's better when, like, you're kind of filling in the blanks. Was that thing real? What did it look like? How scary was it, right? Like, what were the things happening in those shadows? It's like your brain does a better job of making things scary than the world does, if that makes any sense. Like, it's our imagination that can take that scary thing to the next level. So it's this less is more mentality. Let me know that there's a scary thing out there, but don't tell me everything about it, because then like my brain has to struggle and look for it. This also plays into something that I talked about in the last episode. So look at this segues and everything. The concept of fear that I talked about last time, of how fear isn't necessarily tied just to like evolutionary survival and all this kind of stuff, right? People talk about the innate fear of spiders and snakes and everything because they're dangerous and everything, that, that makes sense. But then I talked about other things that you're also afraid of, like the dark, and, vast open spaces can be scary, and all kinds of things, claustrophobic situations, things that are dangerous in different ways, right? Not imminent threats. Anyway, a big part of that is fear of the unknown, right? It's this idea that in the dark, there can be anything out there. Was that a sound? What was that sound? Right? And then there's, then it starts to like be like all the ideas racing around in your head. What could it be? What could it be? What could it be? Right? I don't need these anymore. Y'all, enjoy the fruit. Enjoy the fruit, you feral buttheads. Did I make the bell? I did not make the bell, and I don't have the meat thing. Or did I put the meat one down here? I did. That's what they were all like standing around, was the chicken. Ah, that's cute. That's cute. Okay, so yeah, that concept of fear, like filling in the gaps, I think that's what makes things scarier and more interesting, right? You have to like interact with it. I think that the best horror movies understand this. Even sometimes on accident or by accident. I don't know what the appropriate way to say it is. I had a friend who constantly like pointed out that I say on accident, and they're like, it's by accident. And I'm like, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. But anyway, you know, with a low budget, sometimes you have to hide things and everything like that, but that can actually make a horror movie more interesting. And then there's the flip side, where if you show too much, then it can just completely take the wind out of the sails, like I say, because then you know exactly everything about it. There's no mystery anymore. You know the limits of it as a creature or character or something like that. So a couple examples that I could give. The first one, I don't know the name of this movie, but it's just like such a glaring example that I'm just going to mention it. Chrissy and I watched this movie that is about, it's like a comic book artist who he's getting a divorce from his ex-wife, and then she ends up like dying that same day, and like his daughter ends up like going into his custody and stuff. I think it's this whole thing about like just all of a sudden like their lives being shaken up. And he's this comic book artist, and he's working on this new comic story, and then it seems like, oh, the scary things from his past, or like the stories that he made before or something like that, they're like coming to life as like these spirits and everything. But the problem was that like they showed every monster, every creature, like straight up in the light. You can see everything about them like the first time you see them, and they don't look like they're that vicious. They're just kind of standing there, I think supposed to be like talking to one another essentially or something, but so not scary. So for the rest of the movie, it was like neither of us were scared. We were kind of bored because like all of the stuff that was supposed to make us afraid had been eliminated immediately. And so it was awful. I think one series, now a lot of y'all probably haven't seen this because I'm old, but even if you haven't seen it, you're aware of the character, and you'll understand what I mean, and I think you'll be able to appreciate the point. So Friday the 13th, the movies with Jason. The very first one is a very interesting movie, and it's certainly, I would say, the scariest of them. It's not a huge thing, you know, to go with, but I mean, it is, of them all, it's probably, you could just say it's the better movie. A big part about it is you never see him. You never see Jason. I don't want to spoil it. Like what I just said there is kind of like not fully correct. But I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen, for some reason, Friday the 13th. And I'm talking about the original, not the one from like 2013 or whatever. But they never show Jason. Like you see like hands in the dark and stuff like that, and that's it. And so that one, there's like a lot of mystery. You're like, you don't know what's going on. You don't know who it could be. Like maybe it's just another person that's there, right? There's a lots going on. And by limiting that, it really makes it scarier. But then go a little bit forward into the later iterations where it becomes more about like, oh, we want to see Jason in the movie, right? They start showing him more and more as the series goes forward. And as they do that, and as he becomes more of this character that people are excited to see and everything like that, it becomes way less scary, right? And it suddenly becomes more about like, oh, cool, it's Jason, right? And even like joke scenes. In the later ones, there's like all these kinds of scenes where it's like people not taking Jason seriously, and then they get attacked and everything, right? But like, it takes the teeth out of it, and it makes it almost funny and campy and silly at times, and super not scary. And it all really, to me, seems to stem from just that fact that they put Jason out there in front instead of kind of keeping him in the back. So yeah, I think that those are sort of examples. I'll try and think of more as we go along. I'm sure I will. But ultimately, less is more when it comes to fear. I think, you know what? Let's see what we can make right now. I got Primordial. I got a little bit of Jellystone, but we're going to need more. Just 10. I've got 14. Definitely need some Buzzwax, so we'll go get that. So yeah. So that's just a good horror principle. And so that's why I think that Five Nights at Freddy's is so captivating, is because not only do they, you know, kind of keep a big rap on, like, you know, the characters, like the animatronics. They're always in these like little subtle kind of scenes when you see them on the cameras and whatnot, and then they like jump at you, right? And that's pretty much it. You don't really get a great view of them all the time, and it's all about like, when are they going to come get me, right? The mystery of the timing. That's the scary thing. But then they also have like this extreme amount of subtlety when it comes to, you know, we will put one. Let me see. How many of those portals do I have? 2, 2, and 2. All right, we will put down the purple portal. All right, so we have all of these spots, right? So that one goes to the Ember Valley. So we'll put the purple one next to it. And this one's going to go to, I think, the big tree in the, what do you call this place? Starlight Strand. Okay, there we go. So, like I was going to say, putting, like, the narrative, this narrative of, like, you know, this horror narrative, awful things happen. It's very much like any other horror story, but even that is broken up into these mysterious pieces. Like, you have to play these mini games that are like these Atari games that sort of represent real events that occurred, and then you can get like, in some of these, you get like cassette tapes where people are talking about things that happened, or flyers, or secret side things where you get like a quick flash on the screen and then a code, and then, you know, something to compress into an image or whatever, you know, taking an image and putting the contrast all the way to maximum and then finding that there's like, you know, a URL at the bottom, you know, that kind of thing. And so that level of mystery and lack of detail, I think really gives way to a great horror narrative, because there's so much unknown. And so it's like your brain has to fill in those gaps, and even the things that you supposedly see, right? The events of, all the important events that are like shown in those mini games and things, you can't even trust that you know anything from those, right? I mean, they're these little video game mini game things. Like, are they somehow a real representation of what happened, or are they just these little, like, legitimately just like a little video game that exists in this universe that has nothing to do with it? You really can't know. Is it someone's interpretation of something that they heard about, right? Or is it a record of the actual events kind of transposed onto this video game? I'll say that the question that I had earlier, having to do with this character of Glitch Trap, again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. In that these like video game things that kind of hide some of these bits of lore, suddenly they, you know, if you didn't believe in them before, it's like, well, now we have examples of like literally a character essentially being transmitted inside of, you know, a video game. Like, literally, we know that happens. So maybe these are real, right? If you didn't believe it before, maybe now you should. Okay, where do we want this teleporter to be? Let's look around. This is not a bad spot, as long as I make sure it faces me right where I am. So we're going to put this guy down. And I think if I turn it that way, I think that'll get me to the right orientation. Let's find out. I don't want to have it like I go through the portal and I fall off the cliff. You know? All right. And here we go. What do we got? Okay, that will be fall off cliff. So that was kind of in that direction. So I needed to go this way about like 60 degrees maybe. That might not quite be there. I think this will have me looking in the right direction a little bit to the right. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So just a little bit more. Boop. Boop. Yeah, I think it's this. Oh, there's actually an arrow on there. Oh my goodness. I'm so silly. There is an arrow. Well. Oh no. That's just on the ground. So it doesn't really tell you. Aha. It does. This little bit these little purple things. I bet you those line up with where you pop out. Let's see. Let's see. Still learning, y'all. Still learning. Okay. And... okay. Oh, now the stars, they sit here, they look and they watch. They say, we want to eat the slimes. And I say, it is not the time to eat the slimes. It is time to get shot with water. Chrissy is yelling at me from the other room, like, how dare you do this accent? You make me want to do it more. Okay. All right, so we're talking about horror. Less is more. So that's why I like a lot of the stuff that I like when it comes to horror. It's things that have a lot of mystery to them. I don't find stuff that's just there, like, to shock you or make you feel gross or anything like that. Like, I don't find that scary. I just find it kind of like, ew. You know, stuff that's like just hyper violent, but like has no substance or depth to it, I'm not really interested in. But anything where like it makes you kind of question things and think and have this like little bit of mystery there and like you fill in the blanks and stuff is like a little nebulous. That I find really exciting and interesting. Those are the best horror stories that I can think of. And so, you know, another thing I'll mention, I have mentioned this before, and some of y'all told me that y'all have listened to this, even just because Jazzy and I mentioned it a bunch, and so I really appreciate it. I think that's really sweet, is the Magnus Archives, which is this podcast. It's a collection of horror stories that sort of have this larger narrative strung throughout. Let me tell you, the level of, like, following the threads throughout the different episodes, how they interconnect and whatnot, because it's not obvious, at least not early on in the series, how the things interconnect and what they mean. And I was telling Chrissy that, like, we're listening to it. It's Chrissy's first time. And for me, it's like, I don't know, my 10th. I don't know. I listen to it a lot. Every now and then I'm still hearing things where I'm realizing little details where I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that before, but that makes this other thing. It just gives this extra little bit of depth, or it changes the motivation on this thing. And it happens like every time I listen to it. There's just more and more and more. Hey, look at Lucky Slime. We see these guys all the time. They're great. Okay. Oh, look at the rock bunny. Look how cute that is. I love those little ears. So yeah, anyway, that's what I look for in horror, is stuff where you really have to kind of fill in the gaps. And obviously, it's Halloween week, essentially. So good horror all around is something that I think we're all looking for. So I would strongly suggest go check out the Magnus Archives. Like I said before, you can listen to like the first episode or two and you'll realize if it's your thing, because it's all kind of told in the same way, where you have this guy with an awesome voice kind of telling these scary stories essentially, and then giving a quick little like, here's what we did to follow up on this to see if it was real kind of thing. And it just unfolds in such an interesting way. And apparently, one of y'all let me know this. I didn't know. You let me know in the comments, and I immediately was like, oh my gosh, this is the best news I've ever heard of. That apparently, they're actually going to start a Kickstarter for a new Magnus Archives. They're just calling it Magnus Archives 2, I think. Which, there's already been 5 seasons, I think it was. 200 episodes. And it ended. It definitely ended. It reaches one of those kinds of endings where you're like, well, yep, that's definitely the end. So, get out of here. All right, sorry. Looking around for buzzwax. So, I'm going to be super interested to see how they do it. Like, it's not one of those situations where I'm worried, like, oh no, they're going to ruin it because they're adding this other thing. It's like, no. I fully trust that they will nail it and it'll be incredible. because if you listen to the Magnus Archives, you realize that they get it. But the other story is wholly complete and interesting, and I don't think that they can take away from that in any way. Like, I think it can only add to it. Because like I said, it has to, in some way, be disconnected. I wonder, I just got a thought. So the Magnus Archives is specifically the Magnus Archives London. And I just realized it's possible that they could, like, just focus on a different branch somewhere else in the world, or somewhere else in England or something, or in the UK. Oh boy. Just had that thought. It might not be what they do. I'm just literally just a thought that I had bouncing around in my brain bucket. But yeah, that'd be cool. Anyway, big suggestion on that one. Go check it out. I love horror podcasts. I'll just say that. Like, I think podcasts are a great medium for horror because, again, you're not getting all this visual information. You're having to imagine it, decode it in your mind. And so that to me is like so good. So good. So speaking of other horror podcasts, here's more suggestions from Price on how to have a nice spooky week. The Black Tapes. That's one that Chrissy and I both really like as well. And it's one that is sort of, it's in more of a traditional podcast style. It is a story. It is a narrative. It is fictional. But it's told like it's one of those investigative podcasts. So it's like, you have your main podcast host who's like investigating this mysterious something or another, right? Like, this is just like the general kind of podcast it is. Like those serial killer podcasts and stuff like that. And then it's somebody's like going to investigate and learn about it. Those real ones that exist. This one is kind of like that, but like a fictional one. Kind of like how like a found footage movie is like a fictional version of something that looks very real. Anyway. So this one called The Black Tapes. It's about this woman who, I think it's Alex Regan. I think her name's Alex Regan, who wanted to do a podcast essentially on like paranormal stuff and like, paranormal investigators, ghost hunters, essentially. And so she's going around and interviewing all of these people and this is the first episode, interviewing all these people and kind of like figuring out like, okay, oh, you're this ghost hunter. Here's all the things that you look for. What is it that you found? Show me your evidence, all that kind of stuff. And then a bunch of them mention this character of Richard Strand, who's the other main character in the story, who is sort of like a university debunker of ghost stories and things. And he essentially has this like reward for like, oh, I'll give you $1 million if you can prove the existence of the paranormal. But anyways, he gets all these stories from people. He goes and investigates them and tries to determine whether or not they're real stories or not. And so what happens, and this is why like the narrative goes forward and is called The Black Tapes, is that there are these series of black cassette cases in the back. We're just going to go out here. Well, no, let's sleep. Let more resources spawn. Yeah, we'll go look a little bit more for like maybe some jellystone and stuff, and then we'll come back because I need to be able to decorate, and we're getting there. So yeah, these are like these black cassette tape cases that he has. Oh, they're angry. The slimes, they're getting angry. Here you go. And so in those are essentially the cases that he still hasn't solved. But he's not saying that their existence. He's just saying, oh, I haven't solved it yet. So that's, you can guess where the story kind of picks up is about those and kind of how that narrative unfolds. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I think it, again, just like the Magnus Archives, is one of the better horror podcasts. Super interesting. I love listening to that one. I've listened to it multiple times. It's great. Definitely worth a listen. Okay. Let's feed these guys, and then we're going to turn this into a coop. We're just going to go ahead and do it. All right? We just need it. So I would strongly recommend that one. I think it's got 2, maybe 3 seasons. It's a quicker listen, to be honest. I mean, it's compared to the Magnus Archives, 200 episodes. So I think that it's maybe something like 20, 30 episodes. Okay, let's demolish this. All these guys are going to get loose. It's fine. Okay, and coop. All right, most of y'all stayed in. Awesome. And we'll do high walls, spring grass, vitamizer, elder collector. Boom. All right. Now we're going to even have way too many hens, and I just remembered the situation hen. Oh boy. I wonder if I should get some slimes and get ready to pop that thing today. Let's go get a bunch of pink slimes and a bunch of cotton slimes, because if I can launch them in there, especially if I can launch them underneath, ooh boy, and then turn them into Largos, ooh boy. That's what I could do. I could just throw a bunch of pink slimes in there and then fire a bunch of plorts in there that I have. So we'll see if I can make that happen, because that'd be amazing. So, yes, the black tapes, highly suggest that for your Halloween listening, if you're so inclined. What else? I know there's been a lot of other ones that I've checked out over the years. Some are great, some are less so. There's an interesting one. I would say it's worth like listening to an episode because I think it's really stylish. I like the way that it's written. It's on the lighter side of horror, and it's from Rhett and Link of Good Mythical Morning, if you're not aware. They did this podcast called Ronstadt. Ronstadt. So I listened to that podcast. Really interesting horror, kind of like there's this world next to our world that's like where all the monsters and spooky happenings happen. But Ronstadt, the character, is someone who answers sort of like a 911 type dispatch, but for like paranormal things. And so he gets these calls, and then like he's trying to help people through it. And it's like, again, it's kind of like what's the mysterious stuff that's going on here. But certainly it's more straightforward in many ways, but fun nonetheless. Okay. So let's get some plorts. We're not going to try this right away. We will try this at the end of the episode, but I'm just kind of getting myself ready. Let's look at what we can... Oh, no, that's right. We went to sleep. We're going to look for some more jellystone. And maybe some more primordial. We'll see if we make it that far. Okay. So Ronstadt, that's one that's kind of like a lesser in terms of like it's an easier listen and not quite as like hardcore horror. I would say it's a little more like goosebumpsy, if that makes sense to anyone. What are other like modern spooky stories for kids, scary stories to tell in the dark kind of thing? Feels more like that. Rhett and Link often have like a PG to PG-13 feel, so you can imagine they don't go too scary, but still interesting. Still does with like horror elements, which I really like. Oh, there we go. So that's a good one. There's another one from the same people who do... Oh, there's actually... Oh, I remembered another. Okay, there's two. There's two more from the same people who do the black tapes that I find really, really good. So if the black tapes is your vibe, these ones would work well. Or if one of these ones sounds more like your vibe, then check those ones out. One of them stars... what is his name? I can't think of it off the top of my head. The main character, but he is the character that appears in the black tapes, and so it's sort of like these two podcasts are kind of happening simultaneously. But this podcast is called Tanis, and so this one is sort of about this mysterious... Oh, look, another... Oh, I thought that was Lucky Slime. He just had a flower on his head. It's about this sort of mysterious concept, this idea of like Tanis that this guy's trying to look into, because there's like just these handful of like short stories that talk about it and stuff. And there was this person who passed away, who was connected to this Tannis idea. And so in investigating this concept, this man uncovers like this sort of deeper thing going on. And I would just say like it kind of dips its foot into like cosmic horror, eldritch horror. So like Cthulhu-y type stuff. Not fully, but it definitely pulls some stuff from there and has some DNA from that kind of stuff. And there are some things that are directly taken from it, certain like names and things. Start drinking some water. Got to keep my throat hydrated. Okay, so yeah, similar style to the black tapes, and yeah, like in that fake documentary podcast style. I really love it. It does it so well that like you'll just, if you listen to podcasts, it'll be so easy for you to listen to and just have this nice horror experience. Oh, see some over there. Oop, okay. So then they have one other one that I really liked. I would say in order, I think I like black tapes the most, then this one, and then Tannis. Wait, did I not just see some over there? Was that like a slime? Hold on. Or did it disappear right as I came over here? There was some right there, right? I am confused. Okay. Or, because if I got it, it would like the, the thing, like the rock would still be there, right? And I don't see it anywhere. Okay, well, weird. Okay, so this other podcast that they do, it's called The Last Movie. And so this one is about this mysterious movie made in like the 1920s or something like that, that apparently when people watched it, they ended up dying, essentially. And so it's this like hidden, no one can find it, secret movie kind of thing. And so, you know, as these investigative style podcasts go into, they're looking for it. They go and look for it. Really neat and interesting as they kind of uncover the stuff that goes into it. So yeah, I would suggest all those. I think those are all real fun, great horror podcasts to listen to. There's tons of horror podcasts out there, y'all. If you watched the Netflix series Archive 81, that's also a good horror podcast. I listened to that one. You know, I think it's always unfair to compare the original to the new version, especially when it's in like a different medium. But, you know, I think that the original makes more sense, and I think it is a better overall story than what we got on the show. I still think the show was great, and I would love to get some more, but I don't think we are, sadly. Okay, I'll think of some more here in a second, but let's make some things. So again, we can make a bunch of these trees to finish out all around our place here. It might not be a bad idea. So where do we want to put all these pink ones? Because I don't know that they really fit in any one specific area. Maybe in like the ruins area? Because I don't think they make sense on, like they kind of make sense in the conservatory area, but I'm keeping it a little green, right? What about these bushes? Okay, these take important resources. I don't know that I can waste them on those until I have a good idea where I want them. Okay, so buzzwax, honey and primordial oil, jelly soap, primordial oil. Let's scroll some more. More of these short palms. These are medium palms. I'll make one of those just to see what it looks like. I love these trellises. I want more stuff like this. I have a tall one. Let's make a small one of these. All right, there goes all of our primordial oil. I love those trees. Let's go back to these guys. Let's make a couple of these, because I know these are the ones that we kind of mostly have going around our outside here. I would love to make another couple of these clumps. Maybe a small one or two here. Maybe I can't make any of those bushes. You can get the blue ones and the orange ones. Let's make some orange ones, I guess, because they cost the least important stuff. This guy can fit on the other side. Okay, and then do I sneak one of these in there? Let's go ahead and grab one at least. Okay, anything else? I can make some more of these. Dig it. These take diamonds. I made one of those, right? Okay. Any other flowers or anything I can make and get these gold petal flowers? That's cute. I've got a lot of these azure grass. I should use that. Okay. I think that'll do for right now. Yeah, let's go do some decorating. And then we'll go see if we can't deal with the situation. So, first things first, let's go outside the conservatory. Let's do our trees around the edge. You know, it's something that I think is a cool theming, and I think it adds a nice little level to it. So, put some more of these tall ones around, basically in every single spot that's along the edge. May not get them all today, but we're getting close. Okay. I really enjoy setting up decorations in this. Like, just like the way that it makes it look so much nicer, you know? Okay. So then over here, we saw like, oh, this could be a neat area for like some bushes and stuff. So like, let's throw one of these smaller ones in here. Whoa, oh no, that's the one that's already there. Pick that up. I wanted to put one of these here. Okay. Is that one of the bigger ones? Did I put smaller ones? No, that's one of the bigger ones. Ah, this one's the smaller one. Whoops, pick you up. You're supposed to be a taller one. Okay. I have like one or two more. I could use them there. All right, yeah, looks like I made it all the way around, right? I think I put that there. Whoa! Gotta love it when you do those little launches off the edges. I still don't know what it is that causes that. This could be an interesting something. I feel like I would like to wait out and see if we get some neat stuff there. Otherwise, we just put a bunch of... I mean, that could be... Honestly, this could be a Council of Gordo's spot. Could be a Council of Gordo spot. There's a lot of those together. I mean, and so could this one over here, or like a lot of these spots. Like, honestly, with the amount of places that have a ton of these clustered together, there's so many potential Council of Gordo's locations. We're going to swap these ones. Tall in the back. Then bushes one over here. Okay. Then here we'll do... What does it look like having this red grass over here? I mean, that ain't bad. That ain't a bad thing. And maybe a little azure grass. Was that not azure? No, it wasn't. Okay. How do we feel about those red bushes being there? Oh! I accidentally went through a teleport. I'm kind of okay with it. I think it means now I need to put some more of that color spread throughout. But now it gives it kind of almost like an autumny vibe, which I dig. So I might go and put some more of that stuff around. Okay. Nice little pocket there. Let's put down this medium palm and see how that looks. So let's lose this one. Because I don't know, it might be the same one is the thing. It might be... No, medium palm. Cool. Cool! I dig that. So like I could have like a cluster of palms over here, so we'll get rid of the rock. And then we'll put the other palm here. Nope! Sometimes I'm hovering over it, but I don't click on it, and that's my problem. Small palm there. And another small one over here. I did it again! Alright, you. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now we got this little cluster of palms. I'm okay with that. These two next to each other is fine. This guy's a little bit too far away. So maybe this should be the rock. 15th time's the charm price. Okay. Yeah. I like it. It's like a little beachy zone. So now what do we put over here? Not sure. More flowers here, though. We talked about putting down flowers. Every time. Every time. Oh, I am hilarious. Okay. Are you my flowers? No, we need flowers here too. Okay. Do I have any others? They're not quite what I'm looking for. Okay. So let's head. I think we have some space in here. Where we can put some of this stuff. And then as far as this like Starlight Strands style stuff, I think maybe it goes in that, oh gosh, in the ruins area. I think that's where we'll put it. Like the ruins you could just fill with like slime statues, and I think that would be fine. We might do that at some point, but I also think you could maybe sneak in some of these other, well, gosh, I'm so torn on it. I do think that the most appropriate place for those trees is probably inside the conservatory. Oh, we can put them inside the conservatory. The ones on the outside are like the elm ones or whatever. And then on the inside, we can have those pretty pink ones and blue ones and stuff. Because it's sort of like a greenhouse. You can grow anything in it, right? Oh, I should hold on to some of this food for what we're about to do. Let's grab you. Oh, I made one of the things, didn't I? Actually, I don't need food for what I'm doing. Okay, so right next to this one, let's put the smaller one. Oh, I have two of them. Oh, it looks like a little, like a cauldron or something. So maybe this is the same. No, this isn't the same, is it? No. Okay. Okay. I did it again. Okay. Well, cool. We have a couple of them, so we'll just put a bunch of them around. Perfect. This little spot has some greenery, so let's throw in these little guys. I think that's okay. We'll replace that with one of these later, probably. All right, we have these zones over here, which are good for the mushroom rocks, which I made a couple of. Oh my goodness, how do I keep doing it, y'all? Now it's just funny. Now it's just, this is the price meme. The comment of the day will be, how many times will price put down the what is it? What kind of tree is it? Hold on. Cypress? How many times will price put down the emerald cypress cluster? The world may never know. All right, another blue one over here. All right, we got our little mushroom rocks in here. Do they actually glow around? Like, do they illuminate? A little bit. I'm curious if with the higher level shaders, with the high quality graphics in this game, if those will actually like glow off of stuff, because that would be pretty neat. Oh, okay. Those are the only ones of those I have. Oh, I have mushrooms too, though. So maybe we'll put like one of these little guys over here. Yeah, that's not bad. And again, like the tree with the roots, these can be like kind of, they're spreading off of this, you know? It's like maybe we'll sneak another one over here. Well, that's kind of rock. Yeah, I'm cool with that. That makes sense. And then you can even see the other one in the back there. Okay, I dig that. Yeah, because there's also these ones and stuff too. Perfect. That fits. Okay, we got that pink guy over there. Got these little daisy things. Let's add some more flower stuff here, because then I think that kind of reinforces some of that. And do we have anything else we want to put in here? I think for now we'll leave it. Well, I guess we'll put these down, but just because this is where they belong, not because we're necessarily going to leave them there. But I mean, we're getting some more stuff going on here, right? It's subtle with where you like add stuff in, but as you get more, I think it'll build up and it'll be more obvious. Really cool. Really cool. Okay, so these fancy trees, where would we put those? Well, let's see about like here-ish, huh? What do you look like up in here? Okay. Oh, you know what? It can be like a little orchard right here. Maybe. This little zone underneath the big tree. Maybe a little bit along here. Maybe a little bit along the back here. We'll see. So yeah, we'll have some of these. We might play around with them, right? I might put them elsewhere. We'll see. But I do think that they can belong in here, and that'll be fine. Okay. What other decorations do I have? Okay. These ones we can maybe worry about next time. We're hitting our hour mark here. So let me grab a bunch of plorts. And we're going to cause some chaos. Sure, why not? Why not, hunters? Oh boy. Let's see how this goes. Oh man, I hope this works. It might not do anything. It might just be something silly. But we'll see. Okay, and slow down now. Oh man, that chunks. That chunks. Okay. Yeah, we definitely got to deal with this. This might be the last day of too many chicks. Because, wow. Okay. Jeez Louise. Because this isn't going to be about them getting eaten. This is going to be about trying to inflate these pink slimes. Oh, here we go. Yes, it works. Get them throughout there. Yep. Yep. Here we go. We're just sneaking them inside. Okay. And here we go. Oh. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Okay. Wow, it is bursting. It is bursting at the seams. Oh, it's gonna pop. It's gonna pop. What's happening? He broke the top. He broke the top. Boop. I like that it pushes them up higher. Doesn't look like it's gonna do anything like too exciting though. Maybe I should have gotten some boom slimes up in here. They're just stuck in there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, then I think what we might do is I might take this apart now that they're jumping out of the top and we'll just have it fall to the ground. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Demolish plot. I love it. It's like a wave of chickens. You get all these chickens. Just standing on a chicken pile. My goodness. Look at that chicken pile. That is ridiculous. That is like a small nation. Oh man, all right, I'm gonna start hoovering these up and just trying to get rid of them. Okay. Well, y'all, I have no idea if there was anything else I was gonna talk about because this right here is a problem that I'm gonna have to deal with. I might have to return with the ringtails again and just do my best. But we'll have to do that another time. Because I don't think tars even will get rid of them, right? Oh boy. Oh boy. Just gotta send them out into the slime sea. They'll be fine. The slimes will take them somewhere else, I'm sure. I'm sure. Oh boy. Well, y'all, that's gonna be where we're gonna end this episode. I think we had some fun. There's a lot of these pink hunter slimes out here, but I don't think they're gonna do much of anything. So I guess next time I'm gonna have to deal with this. I'm gonna have to just get rid of them all somehow. I might have to spend half of the time just trying to fix this problem, because it's gonna get worse. Oh boy, is it gonna get worse. So y'all, anyway, with that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, of course, please leave a like, comment down below. With the comment of the day being, how many times will Price put down this emerald cypress cluster? The world may never know. Also, subscribe if you're not already. I'd really appreciate that. Trying to get to 100K by the end of next year. I think maybe we can do it. And if you can go watch another one of my videos, that would be wonderful. That really gets me out there in the algorithm and it helps other people find my videos, and it's how I can grow as a YouTuber, and I would greatly appreciate it for y'all to help me get in there. But most importantly, y'all, above all else, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I have been Price, and I will see y'all next time.